Hey everybody, good morning. I think it's almost lunchtime, but not quite. Had a slow morning here, trouble getting started. But anyway, I'm here to bring you another sewing video in case you didn't get that by that pile of fabric and the pair of old jeans in front of us. So I have a bee in my bonnet right now to show you guys how to make your own travel journal bag. So those of you who have been doing the Crazy Island family embellishment swap know that we've been gearing the last few swaps towards travel journal bags, summer holidays, and that sort of thing, so you can kind of have a few things to take your art with you. And the next embellishment swap for June is going to be more on that theme. This is kind of a bonus video for all of you, whether you're doing the swap or not. I'll explain what these things are here in a moment. First, we're going to talk about the inspiration for this, which is this. Those of you who have seen this before, or other artists on YouTube or over the internet with this bag know what it is. It is called a Canvas Riggers bag, R-I-G-G-E-R-S. It is from Harbor Freight. They have a .com website along with physical stores here in the United States. You can order them from their website if you don't have a store near you. They're not super expensive. They come in this plain natural canvas color, and lots of us who have them then paint them up accordingly. This is my travel journal bag. I have actually a couple of these. I'm one of those artists that like to have every project in its own bag. I have a crochet bag, I have a knitting bag, I have my travel journal bag, I've got my cooking club bag, I've got a drawing bag. Yes, I know. It's one of the things that helps me stay organized, because when I am on the go or I'm going out to the sofa, I can just grab that bag and go with me, and I don't have to fish around for stuff. I hate that. It makes me crazy. I forget where stuff is on a good day. So, that being said, a lot of people can't get this bag, or you can't get a bag like this. I thought I'd show you maybe how to make one out of some things you might have around the house, or at least one similar and inspired by this one. So we're going to make a short open top tote bag with two handles like this and some pockets on the outside. And I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing we need to do is take some measurements. So let me get a tape measure here. I should have probably done that before I turned the camera on, but of course I didn't. So now let's hope I don't knock everything over in my closet. Okay, and we're going to need a piece of paper, which is on my desk somewhere. Here we go. So I'm going to use this bag, because I'm going to use this bag as inspiration, I want to take some measurements of it, and I want to know how big it is. This is a really old tape measure. It's not that big, so I might have to. I don't know if it's going to go all the way. First thing I want to do is go all the way around. Yeah, see, it doesn't go all the way around. So that's 36. And then plus about 5. So that's 41. And then how tall is it? It is about 7.5. And then the side, it's important to know about how big that is. It's about 6 inches. And I do want to know how long the handles are. About 15.5. And let's see. I also want to know okay. So that gives me enough measurements to play with, but I'm going to keep my bag close to me in case I need to take more. So now you're going to need something to make the handles out of. Now, because I used to do a lot of sewing for sale in a crafters cooperative type store I was in for a long time, I have a lot of this cotton belting that I bought these big, I would buy it by these giant rolls wholesale. And I got it from Harvest Imports. They also have a .com website. I don't know if they do retail at all. I do know they do wholesale. It's pretty easy in the United States to get a resale number or a seller's permit. And with either one of those, you can buy things like this wholesale if you're going to do a lot of sewing. Otherwise, you can just go to your local fabric store and buy a couple yards of it. You could probably use the waistband from your blue jeans too, or another piece of fabric to make the handle. I have this, so I'm going to use it. I'll be right back. That's my computer pinging. Hang on. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is a pair of old blue jeans. And if you've been following me on social media, you know we just did a whole house clean and purge over the weekend. We're going to start doing it once every month or two. We've lived here a long time. We just have a lot of stuff. And when I do finally move to wherever it is I'm going to retire at, I don't want to take it all with me. So anyway, as we were doing the cleaning and purging, I made my family promise me not to throw any old blue jeans out because we were also going through old clothes, which we do we do at least once or twice a year. So I said, just put them in a pile, and whatever I don't use for my project, I'll take care of. So this is one of my husband's pair of old jeans that I think we're going to use for this. It's a pair of old Levi's, so even though it's well worn, it's really strong denim. I wish they were a little bit darker in color, but that's okay. And they're not stretchy. I also have some of my daughter's blue jeans. The material's a little thinner and it's stretchy, and I don't really want them stretchy. My husband also had a couple pair of black jeans, but I didn't really want black for this bag. So we're going to use these by default. These are it. And then I got some fabric for the lining. Now, you could use anything. You could use another pair of jeans for the lining. I do recommend a thicker fabric, something like canvas or duck cloth. This is outdoor upholstery fabric. Something a little bit on the thicker side to help give the bag some weight. You really only need it for the big part of what's going to be the inside of the bag, so you don't need a lot of it. This is a yard. It's probably too much. I bought that to be safe, but probably you could get away with a half a yard, but we'll see when we're done how much is left. All right, the first thing we are going to do is whack off the legs of our scissors. Whack off the legs of our scissors. Did I really just say that? Holy moly. Whack off the legs of our trousers, our jeans. Crazy. Man, maybe I need a third cup of coffee today. I should really get my sewing scissors out. These are really not very sharp. Yeah, let me do that. These are my sewing shears. They are Gingher sewing shears. I've had them for a really long time. Let's see, I got them in 1981. It's a long time ago. So you're going to just cut the legs off and set the rest aside. I never throw anything away until I'm completely done. Now, for most of you out there, you're going to just have a regular sewing machine, and you're probably not going to have a denim needle. I do recommend, even on a regular sewing machine, get a denim needle. It's easier to sew through these thick fabrics. I have a sewing machine with a differential feed, so I could actually sew through this seam and it would be fine. But for the sake of simplicity, I think I'm going to just cut it off. So I'm going to split my pant leg up by the thicker seam. And there is a little worn spot here alongside the seam. There we go, right here. So I'm going to actually trim it right on that worn spot. And throw that away. Now you could use this for a handle, you know, if you wanted to cut it a little straighter if you wanted. It might be a little tough to sew through though. I'm going to do the same thing to the other pant leg. And then we have to do some math. Not my favorite thing, but I do know how to do a little bit of math. Not a lot. I'm not great at it. Don't get excited. All right, we're going to put right sides together. And if I cut this out right, this seam that is here is going to be hidden behind the pockets. And I think that's what I want to do. So first we need to do a little math. We need to take the height of our bag, which is 7.5, times 2. And then we need to add the width across on the bottom, which is 6. And we need to add all those together. I need my phone. I need something to add with. Hang on, I'll get my phone. Oh, here it is. All right. Because I am not that good at math. My husband could do the calculations in his brain without a calculator or a piece of paper, but I am not so lucky. So 15 plus 6, 21 inches. I always add 1 inch for seam allowance, so we want to make it 22. So we want to divide that in half, so that's going to be 11. And then to figure out, so that's going to be the height of our two pieces to make our bag. And then to figure out how wide to make it, we want to take 41 and divide that in half, so that'll be 20.5. We'll make it 21, 22. So 11 by 22. So we want to cut two wrangles. Jeez, I need to have more coffee before I start filming. 2 rectangles that are 11 by 22. I am going to use my long acrylic quilting ruler and a Sharpie. And I'm going to just draw my measurements out on my blue jean material. I'm going to make sure that this seam here is like right in the middle. Or about in the middle. Okay. And then 22. And then we're going to connect our lines and make sure my ruler is straight. Okay. And then we're going to cut that out. As I'm cutting this, I'm realizing that we might need 2 pair of jeans to make this bag the way I'm picturing it in my head. So keep that in mind when you're collecting your jeans for your bag. We'll see if that holds true, but it would probably be easier with 2 pair of jeans than it will be with 1. wanted to make this bag even thicker and stiffer than it's going to be with the denim, then you would want to put some interfacing. But if you're a beginner sewer, I wouldn't bother. Alright, so now we have our two sides of our bag. We need to cut 2 of the same size piece from our lining fabric. So I'm going to just lay it right on top of here and cut it out. Oops. Okay, we're going to set these aside and clean the table. The next thing to do is figure out how to do the pockets on the outside. So the easy way would be to cut strips of fabric for our pockets out of leftover denim, but I don't think this is long enough. In fact, I know it's not long enough. You could also cut, you could use the back pockets from the back of the jeans, but then you're only going to get 2 pockets. I don't know that I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to go look at my other jeans, and I'm going to figure out what to do for my pockets, and I'll be right back. Okay, I got another pair of blue jeans out of my pile, and I cut 2 more rectangles the same size as the others. Their denim is a little bit darker, but that's okay, I'm alright with that. Now, if you want a bag exactly like the Harbor Freight bag, you may need to cut 4 extra pieces of denim. So you may need 3 pair of jeans. It depends on how many pockets you want on the outside. The Harbor Freight bag has 2 rows of pockets. If you look at my bag though, all my bags, I find I'm only using 1 row of pockets. So I'm going to opt, except for on this side where I've got my million pens. I think I'm going to opt to just put 1 row of pockets on the bag instead of 2, but we'll see how it goes when I get there. I do have an idea in my head for how to maybe get 2 rows of pockets out of what I have. We'll see what happens. The next thing I want to do before we get started with the sewing is cut my handles. So I'm going to put these rectangles aside. And I said the handles were 15.5 inches long above the top of the bag. So that's the easy way to do it. And then, did you guys see what I did there? Maybe you didn't see it. Maybe I wasn't on camera. So this is going to be the height of my bag. So 1, 2, and then 15.5 inches, and my table has measurements on it, so we'll do 16 for sure. So that would be to there. So then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of that. And I'll tell you exactly how long that is in just a second. Okay, roll this back up. And stick the T-pin back in it to hold it closed. There we go. Alright, so I cut 2 pieces of the cotton belting, and each piece is just about 40 inches long, just a little bit shy of 40. So we have 2 pieces of cotton belting about 40 inches long. We have 4 pieces of denim 11 by 22, and 2 pieces of lining fabric, 11 by 22. Now I'm going to get out the sewing machine, I'm going to plug everything in, and we're going to start assembling. I want to tell you, if you're freaking out right now, you only need basic sewing skills for this. You need to know how to do a straight stitch on your machine. You need to know how to do a back tack, go back and forth, do a back tack, and maybe a zigzag stitch. That's it. So don't freak out that this is too advanced for you, because it's not. Trust me on that. You will need a denim needle. You could use fabrics that you have already at home, or cut up some old clothing. Make sure you get their permission first before you start cutting up people's clothing. And yeah, don't freak out. It's easy to make. All right, I'm going to get my sewing machine set up, and I'll be right back.